of how to do it a little differently in a war situation, why it would listen to anybody to do anything different after the war if the war comes to an end. There is a parallel to this. You know, they blame always the Sinhala Buddhist clergy for pressurizing the government to do things. But the argument used to be that when they brought in the open economy, and there were Buddhist priests who were not too happy with the changes that were happening with the open economy, but they will ignore. They wouldn't listen. They will call them socialist bhikkhus or monks. They would discard. But when it comes to the question about Tamil problem, they will go and provoke them to say something so that they could use it as an excuse, as a political excuse that we cannot do anything else but do this. And that's the situation that is there. So in terms of what the left could do now, I think, in a sense, Qadri Ismail, he gave a brilliant exposition of what a left in any situation is. It is not something that, left is not something that does what is immediately feasible or possible. Politics is art of the possible, is a Churchillian doctrine, not for the left. Left tries to do what is progressive and is what is right. And he gave a powerful example that all the welfare measures that had happened in Sri Lanka, even from before independence, is a result of the left. And what Rohini said, what they did in 1953 was a result of the left. They never won power, but they got things done. And that is an example that could be taken further in resolving this problem. And I'll finish with one more point. How does, again, in the South Asian context, the state formations in South Asian context have come to stay. And that's where I think Tariq Ali made a remark, both in regard to Kashmir and in regard to Sri Lanka. There has to be internal autonomies worked out within the established state formations in consultation with all the South Asian countries. And that's an approach that we could go towards. And for that, India has to play a really huge role in making everybody comfortable that India is not going to run over others. Because if you take the SAARC countries, out of the 2.5 or 1.5 billion, India has 1.1 billion, and you have Pakistan and Bangladesh at 160 million. Three of them make up 95% of the population, and you have all the others, the 5% with sovereign states. And on the question of national question and right of self-determination, it is as meaningless as the assertion of the Sri Lankan government on the sovereignty of the Sri Lankan state. So far as they insist on that, there will be some Tamils who will insisting on their self-determination. So it is two extreme claims, both indefensible, but you cannot critique one without critiquing the other. And I think I'll stop there and I'll go for discussion.